let's make some butter together. So you're gonna want your immersion blender with a whisk and a container to mix it in and store it in. I already put my salt in there because I am making salted butter and heavy cream. It's a brand new one. So we're gonna pop that open. Why does that look like that? Weird. I'm sorry, it was a little foamy at the top. I'm not used to that. But I think I also shake it too before I open it. We are gonna go about halfway. Yeah, because that's gonna make a lot. Get ready for the splash. And we're just gonna do it slow. So it's going to start thickening up. And if you don't use two hands, this is what happens. So I definitely have butter all over me. And that's a reason why you don't want to fill the container very high with your heavy cream. It's easier to make smaller batches and just add them to each other than it is to make a bigger batch in a smaller container, which this is being a small container. It's a 24 ounce. But it's gonna start getting thick. It will turn into whipped cream first. So if you want to make whipped cream, instead of adding salt, add some sugar, some confectionery sugar. You don't want to use granular because it will not mix in right because of it being a cold temperature. It'll get really grainy. And you can add in some vanilla, other flavorings if you prefer other flavorings in there. So we are going to continue, and I will show you once we are past this stage. Right now you will end up with buttermilk. So when you get to this stage, it starts to get like really, really thick. So it's going to get a little bit more difficult to mix. At this stage, we're about at whipped butter. Maybe just before, because I haven't been seeing any buttermilk yet. You also should scrape down the inside of the container at this point to get all of the stuff on the edges down, because it is definitely starting to shrink up now. And now we're gonna go to high gear instead of low. So I've only ever shooken my butter. Nope, I've got butter on my face too. I've only ever shooken it. I've put it in a jar, like a mason jar, an old sauce jar, shook it until it was butter. This is my first time using an immersion blender to make butter because it's supposed to be easier. I did try it with this. That did not go well. So I do not suggest it. just a little tip. We are at butter stage. Look at that. Now we have to get it out of our whisk and then get it into a cheesecloth or a very, very, very small sieve and get the buttercream out of it. Very great for baking. All right, now the fun part. And make sure you get all of the butter out, because your final product can go right back in this container unless you choose to store it another way. Look at all that buttercream we've got. I will be adding that probably into the frosting I'm going to be making later on. Just push. Get all of that buttercream out. Or buttermilk, rather. And you can flop it over. Smash some more. That'll help you form it. We will be back once that is all done. And this is what we're left with. A nice block of butter. I did end up squeezing it by hand. You can still see I'm working out some of the buttercream or buttermilk. Make sure you wash your hands when you are handling this because it does not get cooked. And if your hands are yucky, and your butter is going to be yucky, it's a great way to create germs. And then you're left with, my hands are kind of yuck right now, all of that buttercream. And there you have it. Homemade butter. Very easy. Took probably 15 minutes in total, in between me stopping and everything. So yeah, and that was probably 2/3 of a pint. And that's what that made. There's a mess all over my counter and my air fryer. That's great. But look at that. That's awesome. That made a lot. About 2/3 of a cup. Not bad. My phone definitely needs to be clean now. And my whole kitchen. Yay! So don't do what I do. Definitely do a smaller batch if you're going to do a 24-ounce container. And if you want it really salty, add a little bit more salt than what I added into my container. That was probably about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, maybe less. Yeah,